The mastering stage of any album is a pretty critical stage because this is where dedicated professionals who do mastering and know what it is, and most of us don't, they do what they do with very expensive, dedicated, specialized equipment. Mastering on a summary level is kind of making everything louder and kind of punching it, so that it's going to play very loud. I mean, that's kind of how things have evolved over the last few decades in the music industry. If you listen to albums recorded in the 80s versus albums recorded now, they're much louder now, and this is why a lot of musicians are remastering their material, because they want it to be as loud as stuff that's being released today. They want it to compete. They want it to sound as engrossing. And there's a lot of debate out there. A lot of audiophiles find this really disturbing and wrong. I personally don't mind. I like volume. I like loud. But mastering is more than that. It's also about getting consistent layers and compression, and making sure that nothing is too comparatively high versus things that are comparatively low, or one track is just out of sync with the next. So there's a lot of work that goes into it. I've worked with Fred on all my solo albums, and I'm thrilled with his work. I think he's done a great job today. I usually leave him to it. I like to have Charlie there at the session too, because Charlie has worked on the whole album always and knows how it should sound and represents my interest very well there. And then I like to drop in kind of later on in the session, just see how things are going. So I took a few little snippets of footage as they wrapped up the session. They'd done the masters, and Fred was just kind of checking spacing between the tracks and the consistency of volume level across the tracks, and kind of just putting the final thing together. So it's always fun to drop in. Entirely grateful to Fred for the amazing work that he's done, and also to Charlie for getting the album to this point in the first place. And this is a long time in the mix, so I'm excited to start looking at finalizing artwork with Shannon, and then getting this onto vinyl, which once we get the mastering files, it normally takes us a week or so just to go back and forth if we want to tweak anything. Once they're finally done, then we get them over to the vinyl plant this time, because we're going to put this album on vinyl. With the demand for vinyl in Brooklyn, there's just a lot of queuing up for that. So I think that could be a 10-week cycle. So we could really be looking at a January, February release date for this album. The moment is gone, but I feel very good about this album. This album is very raw, open, honest. It's kind of the inside of my head. And as a musician, that's what you want to do, is put your head and your heart out there with complete vulnerability, because if you're not doing that as a musician, then you're not doing it right, and there's no point. Because if you have some fear of holding back the reality of what you're feeling, whether it's right or wrong or correct or the whole thing, or it doesn't matter. It's trying to capture that thing, that essence, that corner, that slice, and putting it down as accurately as you can in a way that's musically catchy, right? So let's see how we've done, and here's some clips from the mastering session.
I like how it's so customized, you can't really even tell what it is.
We're here at Fred Kevorkian studio with all this high-tech equipment. I have no idea what any of this stuff does. My particular favorite is that box there that kind of shows like a Doctor Who style thing when stuff is playing. But I'm not a mastering guy, so that's why I pay someone else to do it for me.